Well, hello, my little lovelies. I am so excited to be with you tonight. My name is Aunty Nay, and you're here with Storytime with Aunty Nay. I am Aunty Nay to some, but I'd love to be an Aunty Nay to you too. So I'm going to start reading books to you guys. This is our first book tonight. It's called Robert the Rose Horse. And I know it's backwards on here, but that's because the screen is kind of weird. So it is a really fun story. This is one of my favorite stories from when I was a little girl. And it's by a lady named Joan Heilbroner. So we're going to read this together. And I really am looking forward to going through this with you. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. So here's the cover page. It says Robert the Rose Horse. And it has cute little Robert with his ball cap on. So Robert, this is Robert right here, was a happy little horse. He lived on a farm. He lived with his mother and his father. And you can see his mom and dad right up there on the porch. They're enjoying a nice day. One day, Robert had a party. It was his birthday. Have you guys had a birthday party? All his farm friends came to the party. So here they are all arriving. We've got a rooster and a pig and a goat and a cat and a dog. And there's Robert welcoming his guests. It's his birthday. They had a big cake. Look at this cake that his mom has. That is beautiful. They had a big cake. Happy birthday, Robert, said all of his friends. Happy birthday to you. Look at him. He looks like he's so happy. He's got a fun little hat on. And he's ready to chow down on his birthday cake. The cake, woo, look at that right there. The cake was very pretty. It had big red roses all around it. Can you see that? It has all the roses around the cake. Robert liked those red roses. He put his nose right up into one. He took a big sniff. And he took a big sniff with him. Robert, then he got a funny feeling. His eyes began to itch. His nose began to itch. And then, have you ever had an itchy nose or itchy eyes? What do you think is going to happen? Kerchoo! Kerchoo! Robert sneezed. What a sneeze! Up went his friends. Up went the cake. Up went the roses. And Robert fell down flat on himself. He fell down. His mother called the doctor, and the doctor looked at Robert. You can see the doctor looking at Robert right here. And the doctor says, say ah. Ah, said Robert. Aha, said the doctor. I know what made him sneeze. I know I am right, said the doctor. You will see. Here, Robert, take a little sniff. So the doctor thinks that the flowers might be making him sneeze. So he's like, Robert, take a little sniff. Let's try out my theory. Robert put his nose into those roses. He took a little sniff. Again, his nose began to itch. Again, his eyes began to itch. So look at him taking a little sniff. That's silly. Kerchoo! Look at that big, huge sneeze he gave. Kerchoo went Robert. Bang went the window. Bang went the door. Up went the roses, and the doctor fell flat. He just fell down, right? That is a big sneeze. I was right, said the doctor. Roses are very bad for you. There are too many roses on this farm. You must get away with them. You must go to the city. So Robert had to go. Goodbye, he said to his mother and his father. I will be all right in the city. I will find work. I will find a job. So here's the doctor telling Robert that the roses are bad for him and he needs to go. And here is Robert heading out to the city, saying bye to his mom and dad because he's going to go find work in the city. Robert did find a job in the city. He worked for a milkman. He took the milkman and his wagon all around the city. So you see Robert pulling the cart or the wagon? It was a good job and Robert was happy. Robert liked this kind of job. That's a big city. All right, let's see what happens next. Then one day a man walked right next to Robert. The man had a flower in his coat. The flower in his coat was a rose. You see it? Right here. There's a rose there. Uh-oh, Robert's getting a little too close. A rose, and right under his nose. Robert got that funny feeling again. His nose began to itch. His eyes began to itch. And what do you think is going to happen? I bet you know. Kerchoo! Look at that. Oh my gosh. Kerchoo went Robert. Crash went the wagon. Splash went the milk. Up went the milkman. And the man with the rose fell down flat. Go away, the milkman told Robert. You cannot work for me anymore. So Robert began to look for work again, but it was hard for a horse to find a job. He looked for many days. And you see there's a sign right here. It says horses wanted. One day he saw some horses. They had people on them. Say, I could do work like that, Robert said. I will ask for a job. So you can see people are riding these horses. So Robert's like, yeah, I can do that. Robert went to the door. A man came out. You look like a good horse. The man told Robert, you can work for me, but you will have to work hard. You will have to do everything that you are told. So here's Robert asking for a job, and the guy's like, yeah, you look like a good horse. And then he said, remember, you have to do everything that you were told. So Robert went to work, and he is letting somebody ride him now. So Robert went to work. He did just as he was told. When he was told to go slow, he went slow. When he was told to go fast, right here, he went fast. Robert did everything he was told. I like this work, Robert said, and I'm going to keep this job. So Robert's really having a good time with this new job. Then one day, he took a woman for a ride. Everything was going well, but all at once, Look, the woman said. Look at those pretty roses. I want those roses. Robert, take me over there at once. So here's the lady riding him, and she's like, let's go get roses. So here's a big cart with roses in it. Remember, he was told he had to do everything he was told. What could he do? He had to do as he was told. He took the woman to the roses. Again, he got that funny feeling. His nose began to itch. His eyes began to itch. And what do you think is going to happen? Kerchoo! Oh my gosh. Kerchoo went Robert. Away went the wagon. Away went the flowers. Up went the woman, and the flower man fell down flat. Look at that. Wow. Oops. Once more, Robert was out of a job. Robert had to look for work again. He looked and looked. Fathers had work. Mothers had work. Everyone had some kind of work. But there were not many jobs for a horse. And look at it. Poor old Robert. Walking around looking for a job. He sees all these other people working. Poor Robert. With his little allergies. Robert walked and walked. He looked and looked. Then at last he saw something. So you see him walking and looking and looking. What do you think he sees? Do you think it's a job opportunity? He saw a job he could do. He could be a police horse. So it says, join now. Be a police horse on this right here. I will go in. I will ask for the job, he said. He looks pretty excited, doesn't he? He's like, yep, I can be a police horse. That sounds like a good job. When Robert came out, he was a police horse. Look, he got the job. He was a good police horse. He did all kinds of police work. So you can see here he's helping somebody cross the street. And here he's helping to direct traffic so that the cat and her 3 kittens aren't run over by anything. She can safely cross the road. You see 1, 2, 3 kittens. So he was doing all sorts of good police work, huh? One day, Robert worked on Bank Street. Some men came down the street. 3 men. One of them had a black bag. They went into the bank. Robert did not see them. Okay, so here's the bank. Here's the 3 men walking into the bank with the black bag. And look, you've got some people walking. Here's a kitty. And some other people crossing the street with their dog. Robert's being so helpful. He didn't pay attention to those 3 men with the black bag. Then all at once somebody called out, "Help! Police, help!" Robert looked around. He saw the 3 men. They were robbers. Bank robbers. So you can see they're running out of the bank and the guy's like, "Help me, bank robbers." And here's Robert. He finally sees them as they're running out of the bank. The robbers ran right at Robert. They ran right over him and away they went. So you can see they just ran right over him. See this little girl down here with their little scooter? She's seeing it all happen. Robert got up fast. Look at him. He was run over by those men. He had to stop those robbers. But how? How could he do it? How do you think he's going to do it? And then he saw a rose. It was not a big rose, but it was a rose. He began to think. He began to think fast. So look, here's the little girl on the scooter. And do you see what's on top of her head? There's a rose. Uh-oh, they're getting away. The bank robbers are getting away. Robert went over to that rose. He put his nose right in that rose. He took a sniff, a big, big sniff, and he began to get that old funny feeling. His eyes began to itch. His nose began to itch. And then, can you guess what is going to happen? I bet you can. Should we all say it together? Kerchoo! Robert sneezed. Never was there a sneeze like it. Away went the cats. Away went hats. Up went dogs. Down came birds. Bang went the guns. Up went the black bag. And the robbers fell down flat. So look at how big this sneeze was. Everybody's flying away because Robert's sneeze was so big. Look at the lady with the umbrella. Did you get it right? Did you know he was going to kerchoo? Hooray! Hooray for Robert! Everyone yelled. The bank man was happy. The policemen were happy. Everyone was happy. Robert had stopped the robbers. He had sneezed the robbers flat. So look at everybody cheering for Robert. You know what? That's the first job he had where he sneezed and he didn't get fired. So that's pretty good, huh? The next day there was a party. It was for Robert. His mother and father came. His farm friends came. And you can see his mom and dad and his farm friends over here. The doctor came. All the policemen came too. Then one of them got up. "Robert," he said, "I have something for you." What do you think it's going to be? Uh-oh. "Roses!" yelled the doctor. "Hold on to your hats. Here comes a sneeze. Robert will sneeze us all to Chicago." I'm guessing Chicago is very far away from where they are. Look at Robert's face. He's like, "Oh no, I'm going to sneeze." But it says, "Thank you, Robert." Robert took a little sniff. His nose did not itch. His eyes did not itch. Then Robert took a big, big sniff. He did not get that funny feeling. The big kerchoo had done it. Robert was at last all sneezed out, and roses never made Robert sneeze again. So that last sneeze got all of his sneezes out from the roses in the future. So here's the end. Look at how happy Robert is with his roses and his policeman job. Such a fun book. This, like I said, is one of my absolute favorite books from when I was a little girl. I'm so excited that you joined me tonight so that I could tell you the story. I hope that you will join me again because I do have other books to read to you. If you have any book ideas, let me know as well. All right, my lovelies, I'll see you soon. All right, toodaloo.